What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, joined by my man, Dilly Vanilli. He's just put out a hot new video for you to check out. Saints, Rams. Mitch here. Is that your computer?
Joined by my man, Dilly.
Oh, that's my computer.
That's your computer.
My bad. So he just put out a hot new video, a hot new track for you. Fire. Rams, Saints. Who's the better team? Go check that video out. But today we are here to talk about one of the rivals of the Saints and a team that will challenge the Rams in the playoffs. We're here to talk about the Carolina Panthers and their beatdown of the Miami Dolphins live on Monday Night Football, 45-21. And I'm going to start off this conversation. I had a hot argument in the Twitter DMs today with AC, of course. I was tweeting during the game about the Panthers, about the legitimacy of the Panthers, about my belief in the Carolina Panthers. And I just want to say a couple things, Dilly, as I have an echo. 3 Pro Bowls, first team All-Pro, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, NFL Rookie of the Year, most rushing touchdowns of any quarterback of all time.
Where's AC?
Go on?
Where's AC at? I need to find AC.
Okay, guys, Cam Newton's a pretty good player. He showed up today. Superman returned to Carolina. And whenever Carolina has been at their best, it's been because of Cam Newton. You know, you could point towards some of their great teams having good defenses, but Cam Newton's what puts it all together. And let's be honest, guys, Cam Newton's never really had a ton of help on the offensive side of the football. And he continues to do it in this game with, Curtis Samuel, this is probably his best game of his career, even though he got hurt in this game. No Greg Olsen out there. They trade away Kelvin Benjamin. You know, Curtis Samuel, they got Devin Funchess, who was a nobody until a couple weeks ago. A rookie in Christian McCaffrey, an old Jonathan Stewart, a lackluster offensive line. He puts up 45 points against an NFL team. It's pretty impressive. 4 touchdowns, over 350 yards. They also ran he ran for 95 yards, but the team also ran for 295 yards in this game.
Hot fire.
So the Panthers look to be a lot better than even they were early in this season. They've been a good team so far, but they're 7-3 now, I believe, or 6-3. 6-3?
Panthers are 7-3.
7-3. Okay, so they're 7-3. And they're heading into their bye week. They have one of the later byes. So they're 7-3. They still have a shot at the NFC South. They're still right there with the Saints. Although we both love the Saints as a team, they're still right there, one loss behind them. They have already given a loss up to them, but they play them another time this season, so they have a chance to reclaim that victory. But Panthers look dominant in this one. I was talking about last week and even like in our predictions video for this week how well the Panthers played last week, even though the score was only 20-17 against Atlanta, even though that looks a lot better now to what they did against the Cowboys. They dominated that game against Atlanta. They came in here, they played a lot better football. And ever since their bye week and ever since that trade of Kelvin Benjamin, their offense has, weirdly enough, been a lot more explosive, a lot more creative, and a lot more fun to watch. And their defense has been steady all season long, one of the best units in the league. Dilly, what did you think of this game? What do you think of the Panthers? What do you take from this game? And any other thoughts about the LOLPhins?
So I was pretty interested by the performance by both teams. Miami's had what's the word? Clusterfuck? Yeah, I'm going to use that. A clusterfuck of a season with all their distractions, Jay Cutler blows, pretty much everything that has to do with the Miami Dolphins continued tonight in their woes. But for the Panthers, a team that was 6-3, but still had some skeptics as to whether or not they were going to perform or if they were going to be a strong contender, considering they're still in this wild card race / the NFC South race. I thought this was a very solid performance, and I know AC wants to hate in the chat, but you got to give credit when credit's due. When you put up 4 touchdowns, 4 passing touchdowns, also ran for 95 yards. That's pretty good shit, I would say. Pretty good stuff. I don't think Cam did it necessarily all by himself. He did a majority of it, but McCaffrey did some business as a receiver, did well tonight. Funchess put up some yards and some touchdowns, so good stuff there. Kuechly shows that he's one of the best defensive players in the league. Like seeing that production from him, considering some of the health concerns that he's had the last 2 seasons with concussions. It's good to see he can still provide on the field, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt. And this is a Carolina team that needs to win these football games because they're a half game. I guess they're like 1.5 considering they lost to the Saints, but they're pretty close to the Saints, and they got one more game to go, so that's a big game. They're going into a bye, and they needed this win, and they won pretty convincingly on Monday Night Football. I like what I see out of them. I'm not going to sit here and say they're the best team in the NFC, but they definitely rise their stock after this game because I wasn't so sure, and now I'm a little bit more on the side of, okay, this team's actually pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, so I think can we safely say that the Panthers look like they're going to make the playoffs this year?
Yes, I would say so.
So they're a top 5 team in the NFC right now, whatever way you shake that out. And it seems like the NFC is coming down to that 6th wildcard spot. So I think after this performance, even though it was the Dolphins, who may be the worst 4-win team in the history of football, who can't tackle me, still,
they're awful.
Okay, 7 wins so far. I think the Panthers still have a shot at the division. I'm still going to give the advantage to the Saints because I like the Saints as a team. But, I mean, these 2 teams might have 12 and 11 victories each apiece. So that would be pretty impressive for that division. And the NFC is really coming down to that 6th wildcard spot, it seems like, with a couple of teams still in the mix there. Atlanta, Dallas, Seattle, all in the mix for that 6th spot, it seems like, and it's going to come down to one of those teams to make it. It seems like the Panthers have kind of joined that group more because I think before this week, we put the Panthers in the other group of Dallas, Atlanta, and those teams. And now I think we're putting them in the Vikings, Saints, Rams category. So that's an interesting big shift for them. Let's get into like the performances and stuff of the stats. We obviously brought up Cam Newton, who was 21 for 35, 254 yards through the air and 4 touchdowns, 120.4 passer rating. Running the football, he had 5 carries for 95 yards. A lot of that came on some read option. He also had a long of 69 yards on 1 run, which I thought he was just going to Terrell Pryor that thing and run all the way to the house. Jay Cutler was 22 for 37, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception for an 82.4 passer rating. My thoughts on the quarterbacks overall, I gave you my thoughts on Newton. He was great all game. He actually made a couple of plays that like Cam doesn't typically make in terms of at the line. I thought he was a lot more impressive. He like made a couple of shifts and audibles that typically like a Cam Newton doesn't usually make. That one screen pass for the touchdown to Devin Funchess, he read that there was a blitz coming. He shifted it. He audibled to the screen, hit, Funchess on the screen, and he took it to the house for the easy touchdown. So there were some plays in there that Newton just showed some maturity as a quarterback, and he's definitely looked a lot more focused these past couple of weeks. For Jay Cutler, it's the same problem he had last week. He wasn't epically terrible in this game, but he wasn't good either. He just seems like he not forcing anything anymore. He's trying to take everything safe. He did throw that 1 interception, which was more of a good play by Kuechly than anything, I would say. I don't think many linebackers in the league make that play. So I won't really blame him for that. But this offense has been terrible all year long. They're one of the worst, if not the worst, offense in the entire league statistically. And it really shows. I mean, I don't know really what it is, if it's their offensive line, if it's their quarterback play, if it's their running game. But they haven't been able to consistently put it together. And playing a good defense like the Panthers, the Dolphins didn't start scoring until the 3rd, 4th quarter, really. And the game was over by then. So Cutler wasn't terrible, but he wasn't good. He just didn't do enough to help his team win this game. And for Cam, he was great. Probably his best game of the season.
For Cam Newton, I liked what I saw. The first couple of games this season was very sketchy. He looked like he was still hurting from that shoulder injury, trying to come back. But as we've seen the last, I would probably say 5 games, he's proven that he's getting back into form. He threw a couple of interceptions in that Eagles game that pretty much cost him the game, but has looked very consistent as of the last couple of weeks. He's made good plays. That 1 touchdown to Funchess, he made a good audible. got the touchdown. It was a nice call. Some really nice throws that Cam sometimes doesn't make, and in this game he did, and that's a positive for them. And I just like the overall movement of what Cam Newton was making. He was making a couple good runs. Of course, 5 runs for 95 yards. That 69-yard run was pretty damn good. And I enjoyed what I saw out of Cam Newton tonight. When you throw 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, you're gonna go up in the power rankings in terms of QB rankings because you showed a good performance. You didn't make too many mistakes. 14 incompletions, but I'm gonna be honest, 6 of those were drops. That was awful drops by the Panthers receivers.
There was
tonight.
one drop by Samuel in the end zone where I was like, seriously, like Kevil could have caught that one.
Kevil. We'll get to the receiver in a minute, but for Jay Cutler, there's 2 things to know. One, when I'm looking at the ESPN stats, it shows that there's no passing, no rushing, no receiving, and that's because how bad the Dolphins are. It's just such a glitch that they don't care.
They had one long run of Drake. He had 7 for 82 yards and a touchdown, but the one touchdown came off the 66-yard run.
And I'm gonna show you how I feel about Jay Cutler in a video by Bob Menery, one of my favorite guys on Instagram in the last couple weeks.
Oh God,
Mitch knows who he is, so here you go.
Oh, good evening, everybody. Bob Menery here from the Bob Menery Sports Network, and we apologize for taking you away from the beloved game of football, but we have surveillance footage. And it is breaking news. This is footage of Jay Cutler. We're not sure the exact time and date, but it was between week 2 and week 3. This was 2 hours before game time, 2 hours before he is supposed to be running the Miami Dolphins offense. And this was Jay's pre-game routine. Again, we look at the timestamps 2 hours before the game. You can see Jay go to try and grab the fridge handle, but it doesn't work well, and he falls down once again. That's an actual pretty familiar sight there from Cutler. We're about to get you back to the game now, but we just want to let you know what's going on in Jay's life. This guy is just fucked up. It's permanently. Back to you, Joe.
Well, Bob Menery there for you.
Perma means permanently.
Permanently fucked.
We talked about Carolina's run game. Jonathan Stewart had his best game of the year. 17 carries, 110 yards, 6.5 yards per carry. He's had his moments this year, but never really a complete game like this. And then Cam chipped in with the 95 yards. Artis Payne kind of finished off with 68 yards on 7 carries for a 9.7 yards per carry. And Christian McCaffrey had 5 carries for 23 yards for 4.6 yards per carry. So this team averaged 8.2 yards per carry, had 2 touchdowns, had 294 yards on 36 carries. The run game looks like it is back, but I mean, the Dolphins couldn't tackle like anybody. I mean, this Dolphins defense is the worst tackling defense. I think I've said this before, but like this defense is just like they can't tackle, bro. Like, learn how to tackle. Like it's the fundamental of defense.
They're so bad. They're so bad at tackling.
Oh my goodness! Like, wow. But anyways, Panthers played pretty well in that department, of course. And then the receiving game, Funchess 5 for 92 and 2 touchdowns on 6 targets. Samuel 5 for 45, which is overall his best game as a pro. He should have had a touchdown there. He also got injured. I don't think he returned to the game. Russell Shepard, 3 catches for 40 yards on 7 targets. Ed Dixon had 3 amazing catches for 33 yards and a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 3 for 27 and a touchdown. Burson and Clay also had a catch. And then for Miami, Stills, 5 for 67. Parker, 6 for 66. Landry, kind of quiet, 5 for 42 and a touchdown. And Williams, Drake, and Julius Thomas all had 2 catches each. Julius Thomas getting the other touchdown. So not really much else to say. I still think Kenny Stills is a better receiver than Devontae Parker, but that's just my opinion. I can see the upside in Parker. He has, great athletic ability, but I just feel like Stills is a better receiver. For Carolina, I've really liked what I've seen from Devin Funchess all season long. He's taken a huge step forward. He seems like he is molding himself into a decent number 1 receiver for this team. And the rest of the team, I just like that they are, since, letting go of Benjamin, they've been using a lot more offensive creativity with motion, getting their playmakers the ball, especially McCaffrey and, guys like Samuel and Shepard, who have a lot more speed, and it kind of helps because we remember in 2015 when Cam was at his best and he won that MVP, that they had a lot of kind of speedy receivers, not a lot of really known players, but they had like Ted Ginn was like their leading receiver. They had Philly Brown, the Jericho Cotcheries of the world. And I feel like they're getting back to that. Like, I think Cam without Kelvin Benjamin is spreading the ball around better. He's not forcing the ball. And he's kind of, I think the offense just opens up. For whatever reason, Shula does a better job of working the offense that way. Don't know what it is, but that's just the way it seems. Your thoughts on the receivers and the runners in this game?
Sorry, I'm responding to Bodo, who wants to hate on my Cowboys for no reason, but
we'll get to the Cowboys.
No, it's not even about the game.
I say cowgirls.
Funny. I thought you liked them. We'll get back. It's not even about them.
I didn't like them last night. I'll say that much.
Well, no, we don't need to talk about last night's game. But he wasn't even talking about last night's game. Anyways, for Carolina's rushing, I should say, Jonathan Stewart. This man's 45 years old, I think. That's how I feel him as. The guy's old. Used to share time with D'Angelo Williams. But it was good to see him get this performance. He got 7,000 career rushing yards, which how long has this guy been in the league? 10 seasons? 10 years? Something like that? He's never been the biggest or best back, but he's been Carolina's guy. So it was nice to see this performance from him at home. Cam Newton made some really nice runs, of course. Artis Payne, Auburn running back. 68 yards on 7 carries and a touchdown. That was a nice performance. Got the 43-yard long, but made some really nice runs tonight. That was good for them. McCaffrey didn't do much on the ground, but he did get a touchdown, so that's good for him. Or Carolina's receiving. Devin Funchess has easily become one of the most improved receivers of the season. Really like the upside on the guy. 5 catches, 92 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And especially without Kelvin Benjamin there, he's got to be the number 1 receiver. So I like seeing what they did with him. Curtis Samuel, 5 catches, 45 yards. Could have been a touchdown, but didn't do it. Shepard got 3 catches, 40 yards. Could have had another 2 catches as well. They need to really fix that up. I mean, these are perfect throws from Cam Newton, and they're just dropping them. That's a big negative for him. But McCaffrey had 3 catches, 27 yards, and a touchdown. Dixon got a touchdown as well, so that was good. Catch some damn balls, we'll be in some business, but I like Funchess and McCaffrey as both receiver options. For the Dolphins, the rushing game, I mean, take away that 66-yard rush from Kenny Drake, which, by the way, was a great rush. It was a nice read by him. Got it all the way to the house. I like that. Take that away. This team has 34 yards of rushing on 16 attempts. That's awful. And they really need to fix that up quickly. They need to get something out there. I know they don't have Jay Ajayi, and this is a new group. This is their second game together.
They couldn't run the ball with Jay Ajayi, though. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, but because it's the offensive line. The offensive line just doesn't – they don't provide anything. There's no spark to this offense. I saw stats right before the game and was like the offensive stats for the Miami Dolphins were at least bottom 5 in 6 of the major categories. And then when it came to the defensive stats of the Panthers, they were top 5 in those 6 categories. So it was like, this is not a good matchup for the Dolphins, and it showed. Running, couldn't get it done. Kenny Stills, I agree that Kenny Stills is a better receiver than Devontae Parker. Parker's still a nice receiver. I like some of the good things that he brings, but again, it comes down to Jay Cutler on some of these passes. Some of these plays, I'm like, I don't know. You don't really put it in a position to help these guys. Landry had 5 receptions, but he had 10 targets. Mm-hmm. You take that with the good and the bad, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. So, and Julius Thomas has been a non-factor for the Dolphins. I know he caught a touchdown, but he had 8 yards receiving. So, what did he do? But yeah, obviously one team was way better than the other. I think if the Panthers, like I said earlier, can catch the football, if they can catch some of these footballs that are pretty easily, catchable balls, they will be better. Funchess is a good receiver. I like what I've seen out of him. And they continue this rushing game. Carolina is going to be a little bit more scary than we believe. And for the Dolphins, they continue to be the LOLPhins. So that's how I feel about them.
Bro, can I ask a question?
What is the question, sir?
Who in the blue fuck is going to be the 6th seed in the AFC? Is it going to be the Ravens?
I feel like it's going to be a sub 500 team. I almost feel like it's going to be a sub 500 team.
Okay, because
Okay, let's think about this realistically. So our 1 through 5 is Pittsburgh, New England, Kansas City, Tennessee, Jacksonville, correct? That's where it is right now.
Yeah, easily.
So you have
all those teams are making it. It's like not even.
With teams with
I mean, the Raiders, I guess, have a shot, but like they play New England, they play Kansas City, they play Dallas, they play Philly, and then they play in LA Chargers.
Oh, no. They have some pretty hard games. Buffalo, what's their schedule the next couple weeks? They're 5-4 right now.
Buffalo look like dog shit the last 2 weeks.
I know.
So I mean,
they play the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Colts, Dolphins, Patriots,
play the
Dolphins.
Patriots twice.
They play Patriots twice. They play Dolphins twice.
Okay, they should beat the Dolphins.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's going to help them with 2 wins.
So they probably have 3 wins there. It really comes down to those Patriot games, and
the Chargers.
I don't know. They're not favored. The Chargers are favored to win that game.
So if the Chargers,
I'm guessing the Chiefs will be favored in their game too. So
yeah, they could be on the downslide. Let's see.
That would give them 8 wins. That would finish 8-8, which sounds about right.
Baltimore plays a pretty easy schedule. I mean, let's look at it. They play the Packers.
That's what I'm saying.
They play the Packers, who don't have Hundley even right now, according to Kev. Texans, Lions, Steelers, Browns, Ravens, Bengals. I think they can win all but probably 2 of those games. I don't think they'll beat this.
Let me look.
I think the only 2 teams they won't be are the Steelers and Lions.
They always have a chance against the Steelers, though. I won't count them out of that game, but probably
I'm not going to win it. Yeah, I'm not going to predict them to win it. I think they'll win all but 2 of these games, which would get their record to be 9-7.
Okay, so it looks like the Ravens got the head track. And if you really look at the line or the Ravens schedule, they've lost a lot of close games. I mean, they lost to the Titans 23-20. They lost to the Vikings 24-16. They lost in overtime to Chicago. They only really got blown out in 2 games, and that was against the Steelers and the Jags, who are both in playoff position. So, I mean, they're obviously not the best team, but they do get Danny Woodhead back too pretty soon, so that will help them. But they know how to win, I guess. So they, John Harbaugh is a good coach. Joe Flacco's been there before, even though he's not the greatest quarterback in the world. I mean, they should easily beat the Packers, the Texans, and the Browns, and the Colts.
Yeah,
but
those are 4 games, right? Who knows? I saw that on Twitter today. I'm like, man, this is gonna be a really shitty 6th seed. Whoever it is.
I mean, and the Chargers can still make it, bro.
No. Phillip Rivers is in concussion protocol.
They're only 1 game behind these dudes.
He's in concussion protocol. Who's their backup QB?
Clemens.
Yeah, Clemens is going to win games. Yep. Okay.
Then why are they favored? Rivers is going to play. Rivers is one of the toughest quarterbacks in the league. He's going to play.
Yeah, he'll play through that concussion. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I don't know about that.
And they're going to beat the Cowboys, so we'll see.
They're not going to beat the Cowboys. No. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
45-21.
This game sucked.
Game sucked. But Panthers dominated. They showed that they're legit, in my opinion. They're a playoff team. And I think, the Panthers are a team that can give some of these NFC teams a problem. They have solid defense. If Cam plays the way we know he can, and they can run the ball, and they know what their identity is, and they just, they know how they're going to win games, and they can win 13-10. They can win 24-21 on a last-minute drive from Cam. They can win by a blowout when it all steamrolls in their favor. So Panthers know how to win in different ways, and as long as they keep getting this defensive performance, as long as Kuechly stays healthy and Cam stays healthy and Cam plays the way that we know he can, and they continue to do these things on offense and getting better every week, I don't see a reason why the Panthers can't give a challenge to some of these top teams and push them and even maybe upset one of them. Looking at the teams at the top, I think they would have a very interesting game against the Vikings because they're both very close teams and they both have similar styles. I think they would also give an interesting game to the Rams. I think and the Eagles, to be honest, because they did give a tough game to the Eagles earlier in this season, and I think they're better now. But I think the one team that they do struggle with, it seems, is the Saints. I think the Saints just have like their style of play kind of is not good for the Panthers. So I feel like if they met the Saints, which is weird because they're their divisional foe, but I feel like if they met the Saints, they probably would lose. But all those other games, I'm not saying they would 100% win, but I'm saying that they would probably push them to the limit and maybe win. And, you know, it would be a close, good football game. So what are your thoughts on that, Dylan?
I think they got themselves into making themselves look more credible with this victory. Because for me personally, I know you've been on them for a little bit, but for me, it was like, can I trust Cam in these certain situations? Is it going to be a favorable game? Are they going to beat some of the best teams in the league? And I still have to see against some of them. You know, he hasn't played any of the teams that are in the top four besides Philadelphia. But talking about all four of them.
They do play the Saints again, and
they did play the Saints, but they lost that one too.
And they play the Vikings. They play the Vikings at home. I think that's going to be a really big game to see.
That'll be huge. So they have a chance to redeem themselves in having those two games. I think that'll be a good presence to see whether or not this team can go farther on into the playoffs. Right now, I think I have them as a strong 5 seed in the wild card. I'm not going to put them in that same kind. Right now, they're in that middle between the top 4 and the 6, because I think there's a wide margin between the 6th seed and whatever right now. But I think they're like straight in the middle of the two tiers. But I do like what I saw out of them tonight, and if they get that running game going, they get that good defense, and some receivers can catch some damn balls. I think this team has a shot to do something sneaky. And plus, the NFC South is always out whack. Every year there's something pretty interesting that comes out of the NFC South.
And they could send 3 teams this year. They could.
Who would be the
Atlanta?
The Falcons. Atlanta.
Yeah.
They could. That would be very interesting. They got the third one, but
they got that big win against the Cowboys.
No, let's not talk about that. We talked enough on Sunday night.
We're going to talk a lot more this week against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, next week's games are bangers. I know you're talking about in the chat, but there are some bangers next week. You got Titans, Steelers.
I did hear that Michael Lombardi said that the Eagles are already planning their parade, though, so that's interesting.
Well, no. They're favored 3.5, which I thought would be more, but
yeah, me too. I'm already taking that. Just saying. No offense.
Okay.
No offense.
Well, we'll see after Sunday. But yeah, look at those games: Titans, Steelers, Eagles, Cowboys, Rams, Vikings will be the game of the week. I'm telling you right now. I love the Cowboys game, and that's going to be a banger. But Rams, Vikings is lit.
That's in Minnesota, right?
Yep. That'll be
that's
lit.
That's gonna be the game. That's the game. That's the game where I'm like, are the Rams good? Like, I know the Rams are good, but like, are the Rams actually like legit? Like, okay, they could actually go to the Super Bowl. This team.
Oh, I saw a stat earlier, and it was weird. Through if they go and
also it will be a big test for the Rams offense. So
we'll see. That's true. If they project the same amount of points that they're scoring right now, they'll have scored the exact same amount of points as the 2001 St. Louis Rams that made it to the Super Bowl. So.
And they lost to I think
it was one man. I think it was Adam Vinatieri. I think was his name.
I think maybe. Yeah.
I think somehow he was involved. I don't know. AV, not AC. But yeah, and then Falcons or Patriots, Raiders, and Falcons, Seahawks on Monday Night Football. So those are bangers.
I'm just saying this now. I'm looking for the Patriots to crush the Raiders in that game.
I was way more excited for this game when the season started than right now, because the Raiders.
The Patriots don't have the experience of playing in Mexico like the Raiders do, but
that's right.
I think the Raiders are a team that people are wanting to buy into that are just not good.
I forgot that game was in Mexico City. Interesting.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's get to the comments. Michael says, "I like the video Saints versus Rams."
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Rob says, "Fact or fiction? Dolphins draft a quarterback next year." They no, wait.
No, they got Tannehill.
They got Tannehill, but I think they would consider it. I think they would consider it.
I think they would consider it in the later round. They wouldn't go first round with it.
Yeah, they have too many flaws in other parts of their team to meet the first round pick. So I feel like they would probably maybe even a second-round pick. I wouldn't be shocked if they went second-round quarterback. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't even know if Tannehill's going to still be on this team.
Why is that? Because of the injury concern?
Yeah, I think he might be gone.
I don't know. I think they give him one more season. I think they'll draft a QB in the 3rd or 4th round.
Even though the last time he did play for this team, he was pretty good.
Yeah, he basically led them to the playoffs before he got hurt before the playoff game. So,
Training Solution says sup. What else we got here? Rob says Dolphins need Tannehill healthy next season.
Yeah.
Training Solution says, yeah, it feels like they don't trust Cutler. Wonder why?
I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him with my life.
Also brings up one of the big points. He says, can I point out that had the Dolphins have been on 4 primetime weeks in a row. Who makes the schedule? We need.
Actually, I think it was 3, but still, it's terrible. And they got blown out in everyone. No, they blown out in 2.
Even if they thought like they would have Tannehill and they were a playoff team last year, like why would the Dolphins be on the primetime 3 weeks in a row?
3 weeks. Like they got blown out 40-0. 3 weeks or Thursday Night Football.
Not just 3 weeks.
Lost.
3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row. I know it's oblivious. Like the Patriots. Okay. Still overkill. It's still overkill for the Patriots, but at least it makes sense.
I think the Cowboys were on primetime like 8 weeks in a row last year, but I'd stopped counting at like 7, so I don't.
We got to a point where we were on 5 Sunday Night Football games in a row. It was ridiculous, but I take it.
That's part of the reason why they lost in the playoff.
I don't think that equates. I don't think that adds up in any way. Yeah.
Bodo says, skip the bullshit. Let's get down to brass tax. Me and Mitch, $100 that I said the Panthers will lose their first playoff game, plus another 100 the Steelers win against the Pats.
I'll take that second one. I'll take that second one so hard.
We're doing this, Bodo. No, but he's not taking the second one without the first one. I'll definitely do the second one with you, but the first one, I'm willing to gamble on that one because I'm so confident in the second one. So let's do it.
So confident.
Let's do it.
All right, fair enough.
Screw the Steelers. All right, Rob says circle December 3rd, Saints versus Panthers.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Fans might want to have their mute buttons ready for Joe Buck for that game.
Oh, I would like to point out the Cowboys are now 0-4 when Joe Buck calls our games and 5-0 when he doesn't. So, and we play on NBC, which doesn't have Joe Buck. So let's get it. Oh my
God, shit! I better cancel that bet.
You better change it.
Yeah, that's not a thing. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is. It is. Okay, tell me it's a thing next week if it happens.
If it happens, I'll give you it 100%.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Bodo says Dallas isn't making the playoffs. Rob says factor fiction. Eagles Rams get flexed to Sunday night on December 10th. Fact, I would say.
What is the? Let me see what the December 10th game is.
Unless it's some other big game.
Right here we have. No, it's getting changed. It's Ravens Steelers right now. It should be Eagles Rams.
That might stay.
It's a 15.
If we think the Ravens are going 9-7 to the playoffs, might stay.
If it was week 17, maybe. But I mean, the Rams win these games. Right now, they are a combined record of 15-3. Like, I might consider it if I'm NBC.
Training Solution says, did anyone hear Joe Buck say Cutler is known for his excellent movement and plays why does he have a job? What? Okay, let's just break down that first one. Cutler is known for his excellent movement.
That's not possible.
Rob says he can't stand Joe Buck. I like Joe Buck. Bodo hates him. Training Solutions says factor fiction. Browns go 0-16. I can't say fiction because this team sucks. I'm gonna go fact.
I can't go. I want them to win, but Hugh Jackson's 1-23 as a head coach for the Browns, and they haven't won a Sunday game in 2 seasons. So I'm gonna go fact on this one.
Bodo says Joe Buck usually blows all thing NFC.
I think he means like he just blows the horn of NFC compared to AFC.
Okay.
Oh, Mike Zimmer's going to name the Vikings starting QB on Wednesday. So there could be a QB change.
Vikings? It's going to be Case.
Well, they're saying Mike could be.
That honestly would be retarded.
It would be.
I'm just being honest.
It would be. I'm just telling you what's on ESPN right now.
Bodo says, oh, never mind. He didn't say shit. He's talking about the piece of shit Jerry Jones. I'm actually on Jerry Jones' side right now because he's trying to get Roger Goodell out the NFL, so I'm good with him.
I'm good with that too.
Rob says, too bad Mitch and Dylan aren't sporting mustaches for Movember. I can't grow a good enough mustache to
I can't either. I can grow a beard, but I have to shave for work, and I had to shave for this wedding, so I couldn't do it.
Like, I get to a point, like, after a week or, like, 2 weeks where I'm like, this just doesn't look good anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it.
When I quit my job, I'll get a good beard, though. I'll tell you that much. I hope none of my coworkers watch.
What else we got? JTM says the Patriots and Eagles are Super Bowl bound. Can I just say something? Can I rant?
What's that?
The Eagle, no one has ever won in Philadelphia since Rocky Balboa. All right.
Now
Can
you're
we
just kidding.
put that out there?
You gonna put it out there?
This city with like 3 or 4 sports teams has a freaking statue of a fake character that I absolutely love, by the way. But their crowning achievement as a sports city is a fictional character. Let's get that through our head right now. All right?
They'll never go home with her. That's all I'll say.
Can I just say that? Okay.
Well, you made it. You made it a point. They did win a World Series. The Phillies won a World Series.
Well, yeah. When was that?
2008.
Okay, yeah. Fuck them. All right.
Oh, no. You were waiting for it to be like.
Yeah. Well, the Flyers won like the Stanley Cup in like the 70s. The Eagles haven't won shit. Okay, the Sixers suck ass. All right, let's get rid of this shit. They're gonna choke again.
Bro, you know what? I said this earlier. I said this a couple weeks ago. This Eagles team reminds me of the Cowboys team last year. I'm using this as my self-inflicted wound here. The Cowboys went 13-3 and then lost that first playoff game. Oh no, Eagles! Oh, just saying.
I've been a big fan of the Eagles. Whatever, right? I've been supporting. I haven't said one negative thing about the Eagles. But let's slow this train down.
What have
they done, bro? And we're crowning Carson Wentz, and we're shitting on quarterbacks like Cam Newton, who have done it for like 7 years, won an MVP. We're shitting on Cam Newton, and now all of a sudden Carson Wentz is Aaron Rodgers.
Bet.
Get the fuck. All right, what else we got here?
What do you got?
Bodo says, I have the best reason to hate the Cowboys, not the Eagles, Redskins, or Giants. I live in Texas, and we only have 2 teams. Michael says, Triple H is the 5th member of the Raw team. I saw that. I'm excited to watch Survivor Series. That'll be good.
I'm not going to watch it live because it's 4 fucking hours long. So I might watch the
Who plays on Sunday Night Football that week?
It's on next Sunday, and it's Eagles Dallas. So I can't watch that live.
Rob basically hates all our teams. He says can't stand the Patriots, the Sea Chickens, and the Cow Shits.
Rob, I like you, buddy, but L. Okay, continue. Actually, you can continue hitting the Seahawks. You can continue hitting them.
Fact or fiction? 8-8 will be a 6th seed in the AFC. Like I said, the Chargers are making the playoffs.
No, they're not. 9-7. 9-7.
It's gonna be the Chargers or the Ravens.
It'll be the Ravens at 9-7. That is my prediction because I just saw it.
Should we bet?
All right, bet. What's the bet?
Okay, I'll bet Chargers. You take the Ravens.
All right, I'm down.
All right, what's the bet, guys? Let us know what the bet is.
Let us know. Don't put like some ridiculous amount in the comments section.
Okay, I want Dylan to come on here and say how Mitch knows everything and how the Chargers are like he was right about the Chargers all along and how they're great. Bro, they should be like 2 right now. They're freaking retarded.
They should be, but they're 3-6.
And they're going to win this week. They're going to win against the Cowboys. They're going to win against the Redskins.
No, they're not.
They're going to win against the Jets. And they're going to go to the playoffs. Okay.
Trey Wingo had the best tweet of this week. Only the Chargers could have – Marquise Lee gets the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. The Chargers have the chance to win this game. Then they get, what was it? The only reason they get it in because they tipped the football and they got a 5-yard flag for being offsides. Impossible. Only the Chargers could have that happen to them. So, not going to happen. Not going to happen. What else we got here?
Bodo is not a fan of cap on GQ. How about you? I like it. I'm for it.
The only reason I don't like it is because didn't J.J. Watt give like $37 million to a hurricane fund? However, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying J.J. Watt would be the only other person I would put on there.
Yeah, I think what Cap is doing in terms of change, in terms of just like social change, I think is I guess the phrase, would be more impactful than money.
But I wouldn't do that. I mean, he is making an impact within the NFL, and that's a big deal. But I feel like,
and to be honest, I don't think a lot of people like J.J. Watt.
Why? Why?
I feel like everybody thinks it's an act for some reason. I don't know why.
That is so fucking bullshit. Like, oh, okay, so somebody can't be nice in this world. Like, Jesus Christ. No.
Same as they say the same thing about Russell Wilson, though.
Y'all gotta be dicks. Oh no, let's pinpoint the exact moment. We got a conspiracy.
But then they don't like people when they're dicks either. See Cam Newton. Dollar sign.
The media's a bunch of assholes, basically.
Dollar sign says Panthers will win the division.
They have a chance to, but I won't bet on it. That's what I'll say on that. He says the Saints will choke, and I don't believe that. Oh, but he's a Panthers fan, so that's not even no.
Training Solution says Rams versus Eagles in the NFC Championship. I think the Rams are going to be one of those teams to lose their first game. I'm just going to be honest.
I will comment after the game.
There are people that love the Rams. I'm not one of them.
I will comment.
I love Sean McVay.
I will comment after the Vikings game. I would comment after the Vikings.
What a
and plus, I've already made 2 videos about the Rams. You don't know what I thought about the Rams. He barely lost.
Who's ready for Falcons versus Seahawks? Seahawks signed Byron Maxwell. Jollywood says.
Byron Maxwell. Jesus. Thank you, Training Solutions, on liking that Rams Saints video. Nice. Thank you.
Who's Super Bowl contenders?
Okay. So which comment you're talking about?
Russell Wilson, Carson Wentz. Greater than Carson Wentz, says Jollywood. Not this season, but yeah, obviously for his career.
Oh, Russell Wilson versus Carson Wentz. Yeah, I'd agree. I don't know where you are in the comments. I'm trying to figure that out.
I'm down a little bit.
I'm down.
I don't know. Dylan dissing Maxwell, Kevin Olenek says. All right, Kev, get in here, bro. We need something to spark this video up. We'll be in here for another 10 minutes if Kev comes on.
Right now.
Oh, here he
is. There he is. He already got in.
What are you dissing Maxwell for?
It's Byron Maxwell.
Because he sucks.
He'll be fine. 1 year.
You're having to replace him for
So how do you feel that 5 seeds in the NFC have been decided, and now the Seahawks are fighting for the 6th?
5 seeds have not been decided.
So how are they not?
Because Carolina, once these games get close, we know what will happen. So
here we go.
Cam will shrivel as he always shrivels.
I do remember him kicking the shit out of the Seahawks 1 year. I do remember that.
That was once, and we've generally kicked their ass most of the time.
Yeah, but one time you kicked their ass. The last time, I think. The last time.
The last time was they. But when the game is close, Cam gets scared. So, and when it's stressful, Cam gets scared.
Why are you not showing your face, Kev? Where's the face, Kev?
Oh, I'm doing some stuff.
Oh, okay.
He's jacking off to a picture of Byron Maxwell.
I am not.
Oh, Byron Maxwell is such an amazing cornerback.
He knows the system.
Dave Meltzer for that one.
There's some depth. I mean, he knows the system. I think that helps.
Okay, what do you think of this bet I just made with Dilly?
But
I took the Chargers. He took the Ravens to make the playoffs
for that final spot in the AFC.
Nobody knows who's gonna make it. I mean, I think the team's gonna be like 7-9 to make it. 8-8.
It could be 6-10.
No. we're gonna have some problems with the playoffs if that's gonna happen. It should be whoever's the second. Like, oh my god, that would be terrible.
They should just eliminate the 6th seed if the team is 6-10.
What the Jets are 4-6? They're fading. This Dolphin team is fading. This Bills team is fading. This Broncos.
That's why I picked the Ravens.
The Chargers are beating the Cowboys in 2 weeks. We already know.
They're not. I'll bet you. You know what? I'll bet you $50 they won't win that game.
Let's do it. I'm down.
All right,
I'm down.
I'm so down for this game.
I'm down.
Cowboys will win. I'm putting $50 on the line. No
You're
Zeke.
Gonna get crushed by the Eagles. Come out.
We're not talking about the Eagles game. Hey, and again,
by the Eagles, they're going to be all down. The Clapper's going to get fired.
Joe Buck is not calling either of those games, so we're going to win both of those games. Okay, that is the
Eagles. Get out of here. Get out of here.
We'll see, bro. We'll talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah, where's that AC guy?
Where's ACC? He watched the game.
He's ducking me. So
that does genuinely annoy the fuck out of me. But you're shining them. But
ATM says Brady's getting his 6th ring and taking the mantle away from Jordan as the sports GOAT.
Hey, training solutions.
Here's a question for you, Mitch.
What?
Because I just heard you rant on Wentz here in Newton.
I did, bro. What the fuck? Like, come on.
No. I'm not. That's not it. Let's assume. I'm going to assume that the Eagles and Saints are the top 2 seeds now. Let's just concede that. Dylan,
I don't know if we can yet because the Saints still play some good teams and the Panthers play them again. But I mean, I would say that the Saints are the 2nd best team if I had to call it. But like, there's still a lot left to be played there, okay. So I don't think we can fully assume it.
So let's just use the Eagles. We'll use the Eagles here as a number 1 seed. What are the chances that they will be beaten in their first game in the playoffs?
I think it's more likely that they're beat in their first game than in the NFC Championship.
I told you, it reminds me similarly of the Cowboys of last year. And look what happened. So, I'm not saying that they're going to, but
I think it's more likely that they lose their first game in the playoffs than the NFC Championship. Just to clarify.
It depends on who the Eagles play. So let's say they get the first round bye, they go to the divisional, and the Eagles would play the lower seed.
So let's say, okay, so let's just go off like the rankings right now. So yeah. I think it would be first seed would be Eagles, 2nd seed would be Vikings, 3rd seed would be Saints, 4th seed would be Rams.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly look here.
5th seed would be Panthers, 6th seed would be
Seattle right now. As if we're looking at it right now. Yeah.
Okay. So Seattle plays
Seattle would play New Orleans.
The Saints.
Yep.
Okay.
And the Rams would play Carolina. So Carolina has a chance to win that game.
So they would play the Rams or the Panthers probably, assuming that the Saints would beat the Seahawks. Sorry, Cap.
Yeah.
I could accept that. Okay. Just for now.
So the Saints.
I think the Eagles,
would play. Yeah.
I think the Eagles.
So the Saints would play the Vikings again for a rematch, and then they would play the Panthers or the Rams.
Okay, so they've almost lost to the Panthers. If Cam Newton doesn't make the same mistakes, that could be a winnable game. For the Rams, I have a little bit harder time thinking the Rams could win that game because they're 2 different teams, but they would have a chance at it. I think they would definitely have a chance to win that game. So
But I don't see like
Again, I want to wait until a couple more games. Like, I want to see the Vikings game first off. Then we'll see if they're legit. Because I got them as legit. Yeah, legit. But we'll see. I like what I saw out of these teams though.
Kev.
Typing here. I think there's a few teams that match up. I think it is going to depend on matchups. I think the Saints match up really well against the Eagles right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The who does?
The Saints. I think with that running game, I think that Brees and that defense playing a little bit better. I think they match really well. I just do feel like the Eagles will slip a little bit, which would be interesting. I don't think they're going 15-1. I don't even think AC thinks they're going 15-1 because he takes it.
He won't ever tell you what he's thinking.
No, that's true. But yeah,
week by week.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling. I mean, the number one seed is really important, but I have a feeling this year it's going to be more. I've been thinking it's going to be more high.
Yeah, it's going to be more. I think there might be. I think there from either side there might be one team that kind of rises from the lower ranks.
You're still smiling there.
They're not making the playoffs because they're losing to the Chargers.
They're Cowboys, bro. $50, bro. I am so ready for that.
Okay, $50 plus the editing software. How about that?
Oh, plus the edit. Oh my goodness. Okay, I can afford that. That's $90. Okay. All right. Should be interesting.
All right. Are we gonna wrap it up there?
I think we'll wrap it up there. By the way, Titans rule. I was going to say, Titans rule, you're a fucking idiot. All right, continue, Kev.
No, I had nothing really to say.
Okay. All right, thanks. From Mitch, Dilly, and Kevil's late appearance. It's the Bottom Line View, now an exclusively NFL channel. Tell your NFL fan friends to subscribe, like the video, and go check out Dilly's new video. Who's better, the Saints or the Rams, statistically speaking? And also, I should have a video out this week. I know I say that every week. I should have a video out this week. I do have a little bit of time the next couple of days, so we'll see. And I also have to edit out a certain video that I was going to post and kind of redo it. So we'll see. All right. From Mitch and Dylan and Kev.
Peace.